Hello, Saints. Yeah, we're looking at Amos and the indictment of the nations around them. We just did here recently the indictments towards Judah and Israel. We just did Israel, and now we're going to pick up on what God had done for them to counteract what they had done for God, which was nothing. They have not been faithful to the covenant, yet God says, beginning in verse 9 in chapter 2, he says, I'm in chapter 2 here. I want to make sure. Chapter 2, verse 9, he says, Yet it was I who destroyed the Amorite before them. Though this height was like the height of cedars, and he was strong as the oaks, I even destroyed his fruit from above and his root below. It was I who brought you up from the land of Egypt. He's reminding them of the strong arm he did to deliver them from 400 years of bondage. And I led you in the wilderness 40 years, that you might take possession of the land of the Amorite. That's in Canaan. Then I raised up some of your sons to be prophets, and some of your young men to be Nazarites. Is this not so, O sons of Israel? Declares the Lord. He's calling them now to account for what he had done for them in the face of their treachery. But he goes on to talk about their treachery, beginning in verse 12. But you made the Nazarites drink wine. Remember, Nazarites don't drink wine, they don't cut their hair. And you commanded the prophets, saying, You shall not prophesy. In other words, you're not going to prophesy that, but you prophesy what I want to hear. Sometimes we hear that from our pastors. We talk about pastors that way. We don't want to hear what they have to say. We want them to say what we want them to say. So we don't look at them as God's servants, that they may have a message from God laid upon their heart to deliver to us. So we need to first listen, because there might be something there, even if they say some things we don't agree with. And I'm not just talking about pastors and preachers in your own denomination. They may still have a word for us. He says, Behold, God says, I'm weighed down with you, beneath you. We're crushing God with our sin, he says. He says, I'm weighed down beneath you as a wagon is weighed downward, filled with sheaves. Flight will perish with the swift, and the stalwart will not strengthen his power, nor the mighty man save his life. There's no way out. He who grasps the bow will not stand his ground. He'll be overwhelmed. He won't be able to shoot everybody coming at him. And it says, the swift of foot will not escape. You're not going to be fast enough. He says, nor will he who rides the horse save his life. Even if he had a horse, he could get away faster. Not enough. Even the bravest among the warriors will flee naked in that day, declares the Lord. It will be swift, fast, and there will be no way that you can counteract what God is going to do. He's laid the indictments down. And we're going to continue on to not just that, but to all the tribes everywhere. God's judgment has arrived. That's what we're looking at in the book of Amos. Now we see it in the micro. It's not the end of the world stuff. But through these pages, as we continue on, you're going to get a picture of not just what God did there in that region, but what he's going to do at the end. The consummation, the end of all things for the whole globe. God is consistent in how he deals with things. Now, he may deal with things a little bit differently down the road, but it's the same principles. He's playing by the same principles. We see the same God here at work that we'll see at work at the end of the age. And so that's the picture we're going to get of not just God's character of love, which is important, we have to see that, but that God isn't going to put up with our rebellion. He's going to call us to account. Whether you're in the house or you're not in the house, whether you're the nations around God's people or you're part of God's people, he's going to call you to account. That's what we're setting up here. We'll see you next time. Blessings.